The person sitting next to you right now, they're planning your downfall, and they don't even know it yet. Before I reveal the 3 psychological triggers that expose every potential betrayer, hit that subscribe button, because what you're about to learn could save your career, your relationships, and your sanity. Trust me, you'll want to reference this video again. But here's what's terrifying. Betrayal doesn't announce itself with dramatic music and villainous monologues. It whispers. It smiles. It agrees with your plans while secretly rewriting them. Niccolò Machiavelli understood this darkness better than any human who ever lived. For over 500 years, his insights have protected kings, destroyed empires, and exposed the hidden mechanics of human treachery. But most people have never actually read The Prince or his discourses. They think Machiavelli was just some cynical old man who said the ends justify the means. They're wrong. Machiavelli was a forensic psychologist before psychology even existed. He dissected betrayal like a surgeon dissects a tumor, methodically, ruthlessly, and with surgical precision. And what he discovered will make you question everyone you trust. But here's the twist that changes everything. The people most likely to betray you aren't your enemies. Your enemies are honest about their intentions. The real threat comes from those who have access to your vulnerabilities, your schedules, your decision-making process, and your blind spots. Drop a comment right now. Who's the one person in your life you trust completely? I'll tell you why that trust might be your biggest mistake. In Renaissance Italy, Machiavelli watched brilliant leaders fall not to armies but to advisors, not to competitors but to confidants. He documented how Caesar Borgia's most trusted generals eventually turned against him, how Florence's greatest families were destroyed from within, how the Roman Republic collapsed not from external invasion but from internal fractures that started as minor disagreements. And then he made a chilling observation. Every betrayal follows the same pattern. 3 specific behavioral shifts that happen weeks, sometimes months before the actual betrayal. 3 psychological tells that reveal someone's true intentions before they've even decided to act on them. But here's what nobody tells you about these patterns. Most people see these signs and ignore them. Why? Because recognizing betrayal means accepting that someone you care about might not have your best interests at heart. It means confronting the possibility that your judgment was wrong. It means admitting you might be vulnerable. So we rationalize. We make excuses. We tell ourselves they're just going through a tough time. They're stressed. They're distracted. Meanwhile, the betrayal clock keeps ticking. If you're starting to feel that uncomfortable twist in your stomach, that recognition that someone in your life might be exhibiting these patterns, make sure you're subscribed because this video is about to get much more intense. Sign 1, the loyalty paradox. Machiavelli called it shadow obedience, but I call it the loyalty paradox, and it's the most counterintuitive sign of impending betrayal. Here's the paradox. The moment someone becomes too agreeable, they become dangerous. Think about it. When someone genuinely respects you, they challenge you. They offer alternative perspectives. They push back on your ideas because they're invested in the best outcome, not just in pleasing you. But when someone is planning to betray you, either consciously or subconsciously, they stop investing in your success. Instead, they start performing loyalty. They become yes men. They echo your thoughts back to you. They stop bringing original ideas to the table. Why does this happen? Because real engagement requires emotional investment. And betrayers, even potential betrayers, have already begun the psychological process of detachment. They're protecting themselves from the guilt of future betrayal by reducing their current contribution. I once knew a business partner who, for 2 years, would challenge every major decision I made. Not in a destructive way, but in a, "Have you considered this angle" way? It was annoying sometimes, but it made our business stronger. Then suddenly, he started agreeing with everything. Every proposal I made, he'd say, "Great idea, let's do it." Every strategy I suggested, he'd nod and say, "You're absolutely right." I thought he was finally learning to trust my judgment. I was wrong. 6 months later, he launched a competing business using every strategy we developed together. When I confronted him, he said, "I was just waiting for the right time to make my move." Have you ever had someone in your life become suspiciously agreeable? Share your story in the comments. I read every single one. The shadow obedience pattern has 3 specific stages. Stage 1, reduced friction. They stop challenging you on small things. Stage 2, echo chamber. They start repeating your ideas back to you as if they're having original thoughts. Stage 3, strategic silence. They become mysteriously quiet about their own plans and ambitions. But here's what most people miss. This isn't always conscious. Sometimes people enter shadow obedience mode because they're unconsciously preparing to outgrow the relationship. They haven't decided to betray you yet, but their psychology is already protecting them from the emotional cost of future betrayal. Sign 2, the communication flood. Machiavelli observed that traitors don't withdraw, they overcommunicate. They flood you with attention, praise, and contact. But there's something hollow about it. He wrote, "Men are less careful how they offend one who makes himself loved than one who makes himself feared." Translation: people who are planning to betray you will often increase their communication with you as a form of psychological insurance. They're trying to maintain their access to you while they prepare their exit strategy. This shows up in 3 ways. 1, excessive praise. They start complimenting you more than usual, but the compliments feel generic or over the top. 2, meaningless check-ins. They text or call frequently, but the conversations lack substance. 3, performative loyalty. They make public displays of support that feel more like theater than genuine endorsement. I had a friend who, for months, would send me these long, flowery text messages about how much our friendship meant to her. She'd tag me in social media posts about real friends and loyalty. She'd call me just to say she was thinking about me. It felt amazing at first. I thought we were closer than ever. But then I realized something chilling. In all those conversations, she never actually told me anything real about her life. She never asked for advice. She never shared her struggles. It was all surface-level emotional theater. When I finally started paying attention to the content of our conversations, I realized she was gathering information about my life, my plans, my vulnerabilities, while sharing nothing of substance about herself. 3 months later, she used personal information I'd shared with her to damage my reputation in our professional circle. When someone is consciously or unconsciously preparing to betray you, they experience what psychologists call cognitive dissonance. They know they care about you on some level, but they also know they're going to hurt you. To resolve this internal conflict, they often overcompensate with attention and affection. It's their way of managing their own guilt while maintaining their strategic position. Drop a comment if you've ever had someone suddenly become overly communicative before they disappeared from your life. What were the warning signs you missed? But here's the most dangerous part of this pattern. The communication flood actually serves a secondary purpose. It's intelligence gathering. While they're overwhelming you with attention, they're also studying your reactions, your schedule, your priorities, your relationships. They're not just managing their guilt, they're preparing for their exit. Sign 3, the ambition shift. This is the most sophisticated form of betrayal, and it's happening everywhere around you right now. Machiavelli called it misaligned evolution. Here's what he observed. People don't usually betray you out of hatred. They betray you because their personal trajectory changed and they didn't have the courage to tell you. The pattern looks like this. Someone close to you, a business partner, a close friend, a romantic partner, starts growing rapidly. They're learning new skills, meeting new people, exploring new opportunities. This should be good news, right? Wrong. The danger isn't in their growth. The danger is when their growth becomes disconnected from your shared vision. When they start building something separate from what you're building together. Language shift. They start using I instead of we when talking about future plans. New vocabularies. They reference ideas, people, or concepts that are foreign to your shared experience. Mysterious projects. They become vague about what they're working on in their spare time. Energy misalignment. They seem more excited about things that don't involve you. Like two entrepreneurs starts a company together. For the first 2 years, they're completely aligned. They share the same vision, the same work ethic, the same goals. Then one of them starts attending networking events without the other. He begins reading different books, following different thought leaders, exploring different business models. He's not doing anything wrong, he's growing, he's learning, but he's growing in a direction that doesn't include his partner. Instead of having an honest conversation about his evolving interests, he keeps pretending he's still committed to their original vision. He shows up to meetings, he participates in planning sessions, he maintains the facade of partnership. Meanwhile, he's secretly building his exit strategy. 6 months later, he announces he's leaving to start his own company. His partner is devastated, not just by the betrayal, but by the revelation that the person he trusted most had been planning this for months. People often don't realize they're preparing to betray someone. They tell themselves they're just exploring options, keeping their options open, preparing for different scenarios. But psychologically, the moment they start building something separate without discussing it, they've already begun the betrayal process. If this is hitting close to home, make sure you're subscribed because I'm about to reveal Machiavelli's specific strategies for protecting yourself from these patterns. And comment below, have you ever had someone's ambitions shift away from your shared goals? How did it end? But here's the twist that makes this even more dangerous. Sometimes the person exhibiting misaligned evolution doesn't even realize they're doing it. They're not consciously planning to betray you. They're just unconsciously outgrowing the relationship, which means traditional confrontation won't work. The counterintuitive truth about betrayal. Everything I've told you so far is based on a fundamental assumption that most people get wrong. You think betrayal is about bad people doing bad things. Machiavelli knew better. The most dangerous betrayals come from good people making rational decisions based on changing circumstances. They don't betray you because they hate you. They betray you because betraying you becomes the logical choice given their new priorities. This changes everything about how you protect yourself. Most people try to prevent betrayal by building stronger emotional bonds, by being kinder, by being more generous, by being more understanding. Machiavelli would say that's exactly backwards. You don't prevent betrayal by making people love you more. You prevent betrayal by making betrayal illogical. Instead of relying on emotional loyalty, Machiavelli advocated for structural loyalty. You design your relationships, your business partnerships, your personal connections so that betraying you would cost more than staying loyal. This isn't manipulation, it's architecture. In business, never give any one person complete control over any essential function. Always maintain redundancy. Always have backup plans that don't depend on any individual's loyalty. In friendships, build relationships where mutual benefit is clear and ongoing. Don't just be the giver or the taker. Create interdependence. In romantic relationships, maintain your own identity, your own goals, your own social network. Don't become so dependent on one person that their betrayal would destroy you. Machiavelli wrote, "A wise prince ought to be cautious in accepting the services of those who have shown themselves bold in offending others." Translation: if someone betrayed someone else to be with you, they'll eventually betray you to be with someone else. This applies to everything. The employee who badmouths their previous employer to impress you, the friend who shares other people's secrets to bond with you, the romantic partner who cheated on their previous partner to be with you. Be honest in the comments. Have you ever trusted someone who had a history of betraying others? How did it turn out? The Machiavellian defense system. Now that you understand the patterns, here's how to protect yourself using Machiavelli's exact strategies. Strategy 1, the loyalty test. Don't wait for betrayal to reveal itself. Create small, low-stakes situations that require genuine loyalty. Ask for minor favors. Request small sacrifices. Observe how they respond. Someone who's truly loyal will step up without hesitation. Someone who's preparing to betray you will hesitate, make excuses, or respond with just enough effort to maintain their position. Strategy 2, the information firewall. Never give any one person complete access to your plans, your resources, or your vulnerabilities. Even your most trusted allies should only have the information they need to fulfill their specific role. This isn't paranoia, it's operational security. Strategy 3, the structural dependency. Create situations where the people closest to you benefit more from your success than they would from your failure. Make loyalty profitable. Make betrayal expensive. When you identify someone who's exhibiting the 3 warning signs, don't confront them directly. Instead, gradually reduce their access to sensitive information, reassign their responsibilities, and limit their influence. Do this so slowly and naturally that they don't realize what's happening until it's too late for them to cause significant damage. If someone does betray you publicly, Machiavelli advocated for decisive, memorable consequences. Not revenge, demonstration. You respond so clearly and completely that no one else even considers making the same mistake. What's your biggest takeaway from this video? Are you going to change how you handle the relationships in your life? Let me know in the comments. The price of awareness. Here's the hard truth. Once you learn to see these patterns, you can't unsee them. You'll start noticing shadow obedience in your workplace. You'll recognize the communication flood from that friend who's been acting strange. You'll spot misaligned evolution in people you care about, and it will be uncomfortable. But Machiavelli believed that temporary discomfort was always preferable to permanent destruction. He wrote, "It is better to be feared than loved, if you cannot be both." But I think he missed something crucial. The goal isn't to be feared. The goal is to be strategically essential, to build your life so that the people around you genuinely benefit from your success and would genuinely suffer from your failure, not through manipulation, but through value creation. When you become genuinely valuable to the people in your life, when you help them achieve their goals, when you contribute to their success, when you make their lives measurably better, betrayal becomes not just morally wrong, but strategically stupid. If this video changed how you think about trust, loyalty, and human relationships, smash that subscribe button and hit the notification bell. I analyze historical strategy, psychological manipulation, and power dynamics every week. And here's your homework. Over the next 7 days, I want you to observe the 3 people you trust most. Look for signs of shadow obedience, communication floods, and misaligned evolution. Don't act on what you observe, just watch. Comment below with just 1 word describing how this video made you feel. I'm genuinely curious about your emotional response to these ideas, because here's the final truth Machiavelli understood. Power isn't about controlling other people. It's about creating a world where other people's best interests align with your own, where loyalty isn't just an emotion, it's an intelligent choice. And once you understand that, you'll never be caught off guard by betrayal again. Soon, I'm revealing Machiavelli's strategies for rebuilding trust after betrayal, including the psychological techniques he recommended for determining whether someone who betrayed you can ever be trusted again. You won't want to miss it.